All right, so you're tired of those fad diets, huh? Ready for some real talk about how to lose weight and keep it off?
Ready when you are.
Well, we've got a ton of research to dig into today. I mean, everyone's always looking for the magic bullet, right? But the truth is,
It's more about understanding the science and making sustainable changes.
yeah, no more yo-yo dieting.
Exactly.
I feel like we've all been there, right? But, we got to start with the basics. I mean, it's all about calories in, calories out.
Right.
Well, it's definitely the foundation,
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page about that at least.
but it's a lot more nuanced than just that. It's not as simple as just counting calories.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, my body doesn't seem to treat a bag of chips the same way it does a plate of veggies.
You're totally right. A calorie isn't always just a calorie.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
We have to look at the types of calories we're consuming. That's where macronutrients come in. Proteins, carbs, and fats.
Ah, okay. So that's the nuance. Makes sense. And even within those categories, there's a lot of variation.
So like a protein bar isn't the same as a chicken breast.
Exactly.
Interesting. So let's break down these macros. Let's start with protein. I know it's important for building muscle, but tell me more.
Absolutely. Protein provides the building blocks for muscle growth,
And more muscle means.
a faster metabolism, which means you burn more calories even when you're at rest.
Okay, that's definitely a win. So what kinds of protein should we be focusing on?
Well, certain amino acids in protein are particularly good at triggering something called muscle protein synthesis.
Muscle protein? What? Sorry, you lost me there.
Haha, no worries. Basically, it's the process of actually building and repairing muscle tissue.
Okay, so like rebuilding those muscles after a tough workout.
Exactly. And certain amino acids, like leucine, are key for this process.
So leucine is like the VIP of the muscle building world.
You got it.
All right, so where do we find this leucine? What kind of foods are we talking about?
Lean meats like chicken and fish are excellent sources.
Yeah.
Plant-based options like lentils and quinoa are also packed with protein.
And what about like Greek yogurt? Isn't that a good source of protein too?
Oh yeah, definitely. Greek yogurt is a great one.
Perfect. All right, so we've got protein covered. What about carbs? They often get a bad rap, but I know they're important for energy.
Absolutely. Carbs are your body's primary fuel source, especially for your brain and muscles.
But I've tried those low-carb diets, and I just ended up feeling kind of blah.
That makes sense. The key is choosing the right kind of carbs. We want to focus on those with a lower glycemic index.
Glycemic index.
It's basically a measure of how quickly a food raises your blood sugar.
Okay, so like a candy bar would be high on that index.
Definitely. But things like whole grains, fruits, and veggies have a lower GI, so they provide sustained energy without those sugar crashes.
Ah, so those are the carbs that won't send me on a roller coaster ride of energy spikes and crashes.
Exactly. And those crashes often lead to cravings and overeating.
That makes sense.
It's all about keeping your blood sugar levels stable.
Okay, got it. Now on to fats. This is where I always get confused. Some are good, some are bad. Help me out here.
You're right, it can be a bit confusing. But think of it this way. Unsaturated fats, like those found in avocados, olive oil, and nuts. Those are your friends.
Okay, so guacamole is a good thing.
Mhm.
I can get behind that.
Definitely in moderation, of course.
Right, of course. Everything in moderation. So what about those not so good fats?
We want to limit saturated and trans fats, which are often found in processed foods, fried foods, and baked goods.
So basically, the usual suspects when it comes to unhealthy eating.
Pretty much.
All right, so we've covered the three main macros. Anything else we need to know about nutrition?
Well, let's not forget about micronutrients.
Like vitamins and minerals.
Exactly. They play a vital role in overall health and metabolism.
So how do we make sure we're getting enough of those?
Eat the rainbow. Focus on a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains.
Got it. So it's not just about what we eat, but also how much we eat. Portion control, right?
Absolutely. It's easy to overeat, especially when portions have become supersized these days.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that. Any tips for keeping portions in check?
Visual aids can be helpful. For example, a serving of nuts is about the size of a golf ball. A serving of meat is about the size of a deck of cards.
Okay, that's a good way to visualize it. So are there any other strategies for, like, not overeating?
Mindful eating can be incredibly helpful.
And what does that mean exactly?
It's about slowing down, paying attention to your food, and really savoring each bite.
So putting down the phone while I'm eating and not inhaling my dinner in 5 minutes flat.
Exactly. It takes about 20 minutes for your brain to register that you're full.
Wow, I had no idea.
So if you're rushing through your meal, you're more likely to eat beyond what your body actually needs.
That makes so much sense. And this is making me thirsty just thinking about it. Speaking of which, how important is water for all of this?
Hydration is absolutely essential for weight loss.
So all that advice about drinking 8 glasses a day is legit.
It's a good guideline.
Okay, so 8 glasses is a good starting point.
Water plays a role in everything, from digestion to metabolism. It helps you feel full and can even reduce those midday cravings.
So next time I reach for a snack, maybe I could try drinking a glass of water first.
It's definitely worth a try. Staying hydrated can make a big difference.
Okay, we've covered nutrition in depth, but let's be honest. Weight loss isn't just about what we eat. We got to move our bodies too.
Absolutely. Exercise is crucial for weight loss and overall health.
Okay, so what kind of exercise is best?
Well, a combination of cardio and strength training is ideal.
So getting my heart rate up and lifting weights.
Exactly. Cardio burns calories and improves cardiovascular health, while strength training builds muscle mass, which, as we talked about earlier, boosts your metabolism.
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all connects. But I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard to get motivated to exercise. Any tips?
The key is finding activities you enjoy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If I dread going to the gym, I'm less likely to stick with it.
Exactly. If you hate running, don't force yourself to do it. There are so many other options out there.
Yeah, like dancing or swimming or even just taking a brisk walk in nature.
Those are all great. The most important thing is to find something you genuinely enjoy so it feels less like a chore and more like a fun part of your day.
Speaking of fun, have you heard of this afterburn effect?
Oh, yeah. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, is a great way to maximize that.
I've heard of HII workouts, but I'm not sure I totally understand how they work.
It's all about short bursts of intense effort, followed by brief recovery periods. This type of training keeps your heart rate elevated, so you burn more calories even after your workout is finished.
So I can literally torch calories while binge-watching my favorite show later. Sign me up.
Exactly. It's a time-efficient way to get a great workout.
This is all great stuff. And, something I've always been curious about is the connection between sleep and weight.
It's a fascinating link and a crucial one. When we don't get enough sleep, our bodies produce more of the stress hormone cortisol, which can increase our appetite and make it harder to lose weight.
So those late-night snack attacks are actually hormonally driven.
Often, yes. Plus, lack of sleep disrupts other hormones that regulate hunger and satiety, so you end up feeling less satisfied after you eat.
Wow, it's amazing how interconnected everything is. So prioritizing sleep is just as important as watching what we eat and exercising.
Absolutely.
All right, noted. Aim for those 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. And speaking of things that can throw our bodies out of whack, can we talk about stress for a minute?
Absolutely. Chronic stress is a major contributor to weight gain.
So that explains why I crave comfort food when I'm stressed out. It's like a biological response.
It is. When we're stressed, our bodies release cortisol, which, as we discussed, can lead to increased appetite and fat storage.
And I'm guessing that abdominal fat storage is no accident, right?
You got it. That's why finding healthy ways to manage stress is just as important as all the other things we've talked about.
So what are some practical ways to de-stress? I know meditation is a popular one, but I have to admit, sometimes I find it hard to quiet my mind.
And that's totally okay. Meditation isn't for everyone. The key is to find what works for you. It could be spending time in nature, listening to music, or simply taking a few minutes to breathe deeply.
So it's all about finding those little pockets of peace throughout the day.
Exactly. And making those a non-negotiable part of your routine.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here. We've talked about macros, mindful eating, the power of HIE and strength training, the importance of sleep and stress management.
It's a holistic approach, really.
It is, and it all comes down to making sustainable changes that support both our physical and mental well-being. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
Focus on progress, not perfection. It's a journey, not a race. There will be ups and downs along the way.
Yeah, we're all human, right?
Yeah.
We're going to slip up sometimes.
Exactly. But don't let those setbacks derail you. Just get back on track and keep moving forward. And remember, sustainable weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's about feeling good in your body, having energy to do the things you love, and living a healthier, happier life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as you're listening to this, what stands out to you? What one small change could you make today to start building healthier habits.
Maybe swap out that sugary snack for a handful of almonds or take a few minutes to stretch and breathe deeply. It doesn't have to be a huge overhaul all at once.
Yeah, small changes add up over time. They can really make a big difference.
What's fascinating is that even those small changes can create a ripple effect. They lead to bigger, more sustainable shifts in the long run. It's all about taking that first step.
And trusting the process. Well said.